This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a Bosch dishwasher that keeps overfilling and flooding the bottom tray, drip tray below the dishwasher. So we're going to fix it by replacing the water valve. I'm going to unplug it first. You can also turn off the breaker. And then you also want to turn off the water. Usually underneath your sink there will be a hose that's going to the dishwasher, and there's usually a valve there. Sometimes you have to turn it all the way to the right. In this case it's a valve you just turn 90 degrees. I'm going to turn it to the right 90 degrees so that it's stopping the water flow from going to the dishwasher, pointing down. And then all I need to do next is remove a plate below the door. It's held on by two Phillips head screws, so I'm just going to undo these two Phillips head screws. This is called the kick plate. We're going to get that out of the way, and then we have really good access to the fill valve. On some of the more modern Bosch dishwashers, the fill valve is located in the back, but a lot of these models are in the front right here. I'm going to open the door though, and then as it comes toward me, it's actually creating more space for me to work. You can also remove the door panel. This is just a little bit faster way to do it. I'm using a pair of pliers to undo the fitting. I have a little drop cloth there because some water will come out. And then I'm going to grab onto this brass elbow and turn it lefty-loosey to get it off. We have to put it on the new fill valve. This is a good time to remove it because it's held onto the dishwasher and you can grab it with a wrench and turn to the left. Might be a bit hard to move it, but using vice grips is a pretty strong way to grab it. And I'm just using my hand to spin off to the left. Then I need to put new Teflon tape on the old brass elbow before I put it on the new one. I've got to remove the old Teflon tape first, and this is just a waterproofing material. The Teflon tape will only go on the threads of the bigger opening. The smaller opening is a compression fitting and doesn't need it. So we're going to remove that stuff, and then we're going to put some new Teflon tape on. We're going to wind around probably 4 or 5 times with the tape to create this nice soft waterproof seal. And then we're going to make sure that we get the tape pushed hard down onto the threads. We want to make sure that this white tape is not at all going toward the hole that the water goes through, because it can obstruct the water flow. So I'm making sure I push it away from the opening. And now I'm going to screw it into the new valve, get it nice and tight. I'll actually grab a hold of the valve with some vice grips, and then I'm going to turn it with my pliers to get that on nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to take off the old one by removing a couple of Torx 15 screws that are holding it to the frame. And then there's a tube above it. I have to kind of get it out of the way, this big white tube. So I'm just going to push up until this little plastic thing lets go. And that's just to create a little more space to pull out the valve from the frame. So there's the valve, and we're just going to take off a couple things. There's a wire connector. We're going to pull it straight off. And then there is a hose that we have to get off too. So here it comes out. You can just grab that wire connector and just tug it right off. You don't want to grab it by the wires, but you want to grab it by the plastic case. We'll use a pair of pliers to compress that hose clamp to get it to move back about 2 inches. You can use a standard head screwdriver to help pry the hose back. Usually on there pretty tight. Then I'll use a pair of pliers to grab the hose, push it away from me as I pull the old fill valve toward me. Kind of twist and pull towards you. And then once you get it off, you just do the opposite to put on the new one. Take your new one, push it onto the hose first, as far as it'll go. Then use your pliers to compress the hose clamp and bring the hose clamp back into position to get a nice watertight seal. And then you want to put on the electrical connector. It only goes on one way, so we'll wiggle around, try different things until it feels like it's going to go in, and then push it in as far as it'll go. We're putting the valve back into position. We're going to add those two Torx 15 screws back in, the black screws. And I have to turn that brass elbow a little further, 180 degrees further to the right in a clockwise direction because it's pointing the wrong way. And then once I do that, I can put on the hose. So I'm going to grab that thing with a pair of vice grips, turn it to my right until it points toward me to the right. And I'm going to put on the hose. I'm going to just use my fingers to get that nut to go on as far as it'll go, finger tight, and then I'll use my pliers to twist it about 3 or 4 more times to get it really tight. This is a pretty fast procedure. It should probably take you 20 to 30 minutes. You'll be done. I'll put that big white hose back into its clamp right there. That's the drain hose. And now we got to tighten up. We're going to go righty-tighty. We're going to be going up to get that tight. I like to just open the door to about probably 80 degrees, almost to 90. Gives me a lot of room. I'm going to turn on the water valve, turn it now so it's horizontal, parallel to the ground, and I'll plug back in the dishwasher, and then I can take it for a test. Make sure that it's filling well and washing and draining. You can do all the tests. These are really good dishwashers. They last a long time, especially the Bosch with the metal cabinet, not the plastic cabinet, but the metal cabinet. So if we look at the old valve, we look in there, we notice that there's a lot of crud. You can kind of see it. It's translucent, this black stuff. And that can cause troubles with valves. It can make them stay open or keep them from filling. We're going to put the bottom panel back on. Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button, and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.